Are there any other shows that you can think of, maybe from when you were younger or whatever, that like, honestly, like maybe even as a kid, like got you, like there was an emotional thing in a kid's show or something? Not that, I mean, I'd stay on Lost forever, but
Yeah, I mean, aside from that Pokemon thing.
Yeah, Pokemon got me, because I was gonna say something that really affected me when I was a kid forever, and I really think this imprinted on me forever. In terms of, I appreciated that a kid's show did this so maturely, and it's always made me appreciate when a show, either for kids or just a stupid show, can do something bold or do something emotional. And I've always tried, even in making Mega 64, I've always wanted to add emotional things.
Yeah.
Not all the time. If you do it all the time, it's not, no. But like version 3, you see all the episodes, they're crazy. But when I wrote the last episode, I wanted to have something that would make you misty-eyed in it, because I like when a show can be totally callous and stupid one minute and then like, whoa, like, and for me, it was when I think what affected me forever with that, where I always want to have that Disney, like, makes you cry moment.
Yeah.
Was Sesame Street, when Mr. Hooper died. That affected me. And maybe I didn't even totally understand it at the time, but I think back and I go, wow, that affected me. When Sesame Street had an episode where there was a guy on the street who died. A guy who was in every episode. And some people out there might not be old enough for this, but if you look it up, there was an old guy that was always in the show. Sesame Street, it's always like, the fucking puppets are talking with, regular people that live on Sesame Street. Hey, so-and-so. And Mr. Hooper was the guy who ran the store. And they would hang out with him and talk to him and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And he died in real life, and they didn't know how to write him out. And I think Jim Henson was the one who said, we don't write it out. Like, this is important for kids.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
And that was really a big thing for me as I watched that episode, and it was like, well, where's Mr. Hooper? Oh, he's not coming back, Big Bird. Well, okay, well, I'll wait for him. Big Bird, he's not going to come back out. Well, he has to at some point. No. For you know what I mean? Like, what a difference in tone for that episode. And I know that we're talking about a preschooler show.
No,
but that's really what imprinted on me. And if you watch it on YouTube, it's on YouTube right now. If you watch that Mr. Hooper episode, they handle it so excellently.
That's awesome.
They don't even take it to a place of, yeah, well, he's in heaven and he's with whatever. They don't even take it to a place of, I don't even say religion, like they should, like, if they brought that into it, so be it. But they don't even take it into a place of trying to make something out of it. Like, let's say a bunch of happy stuff so that you don't cry. It doesn't go there. It goes, it happens. He died. Well, does that happen to everybody? It happens to everybody.
Yeah.
Someday I'll die, and so will you, Big Bird, because it happens to everybody. Well, why? Why does it happen? And they don't give any big flashy reason.
Yeah.
What I appreciate is they keep it real to the children watching that. He goes, it just happens because. Just because. Wow.
That's pretty
they tell it as straight as they can. It's just because. Like, that is the way of the world. And I feel like that approach, no matter what you know as a kid, no matter what you've been taught, it doesn't matter, religion or anything, that's the most important thing you could say. No matter how you slice it, that is what will happen. And coming to terms with that, even if you are a religious person, you can't, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, you can't, no matter how you slice it, that's what you need to know, is it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Don't butter it up now. That's something you need to know that is a constant, and you need to get used to that right now. And Jim Henson was brilliant for that reason.
Yeah.
He would never talk down to children. And he didn't. That's a moment where they easily could have. Oh, it's okay. He's up. He's in heaven with da-da-da, and he's eating ice cream, and they didn't doctor it up at all. They said it happens, and it will happen to you, and it will happen to me. So well done. You have to look that up. It's so well done. Anyway, sorry.
No, it's just I appreciate that kind of method of approaching things. Like I've always hated the idea that people treat children like they're unable to understand anything.
Sure.
It's like, well, yeah, because you have to show them.
Yes.
You can't. Because we were talking about like movies yesterday or a couple days ago that aren't appropriate to show kids or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I was seeing like Cliffhanger when I was 6 or 7 years old.
Yeah,
I saw fucking all the worst horror movies, all like the Chucky series, everything when I was like before the age of 10. But my mom would sit down and talk to me and explain things to me and tell me these are movies. This isn't real. This is make believe. When I was too young,
I knew from a very young age there was the stuff on screen. It's not real.
Yeah, they're like, unless it's on the news.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
it's not real.
Yeah,
and like if you ever have any questions or whatever, I'll answer it for you. So they didn't shy away from showing me grotesque or like
I didn't really have
but like there was no need to feel like, oh, you can't see that, you can't see that. It was like, hey, if you don't understand something, let me know and I'll help you understand it. And that to me, Jim Henson coming in and saying, no, tell them that he died, rather than, oh, you know what, just replace him with a new character or whatever.
Yeah.
To me, I'm like, I wish more things were like that.
Yes.
Because I feel like nowadays you just have these kids that aren't equipped to handle anything. That's why you have a lot of people with anxiety and a lot of people with like social disorders and a lot of people who don't know how to handle shit.
Yeah.
Because nobody's shown them how to. Like imagine I go, as an adult, imagine you go into another country and you just have to figure something out.
Yeah.
You're going to have that like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know what to do. So you shut down, you close up, and you don't do anything. But if you have somebody there who speaks the language and can show you over time, you learn. Maybe you learn the language, or you at least learn a way of communicating. And I feel like something like that, hearing that somebody did that with a big platform like Sesame Street, man, that's so cool. Because I really wish people did that more in general.
I don't think they did that because recently, well, not recently, probably in the last 10 years, they had that one Mr. Noodle died. He died in real life. He was in Jurassic Park 3, and so I forgot the name of the actor. But he played a character on Sesame Street and died in real life. And I think they just replaced him. New same character, just new person play. And I'm like, okay, why would you do that?
And again, when I say like I like that they didn't sugarcoat it, I don't mean like, again, like it's one thing to give a religious reason. Oh, he's in heaven. But there's also a want to wrap it in such a way where it's no, it's fine. It's this and it's that and it's this and it's that. That's different from being religious.
Right.
You could still think, oh, he's up in heaven. You could still say that. I'm not saying anything that's anti-religious at all. But you can't say stuff that is not facing the reality of death. And they didn't. That's what I'm saying. It's like they owned up to that, and I thought they did a great job. What is that noise?
I have no idea.
People like raging.
I think
out.
it's somebody next door.
Yeah, it's got to be. I thought maybe someone's coming over for it now, but there's an episode of Bob Ross where it gets sad at the end. He's dropping hints throughout the painting, and then at the end mentions his wife just died. I've never seen that.
I've never ever.
Oh, that would wreck me. I love Bob Ross.
Yeah, Bob Ross, man.
If Bob Ross ever dies, I'll lose it. No, I was gonna say, shit. What was I gonna say? I felt really bad when we printed our version 3 DVD. We needed more and more copies, and the guy at the factory was not delivering, and it's like that. In my world, the biggest thing in my world is version 3 coming out. You know,
absolutely.
That's my world, and it was like, and so it was like, come on, we need more copies. And then I sent an email that was like, dude, you're dropping the ball. Hurry up. And then someone else at the company emailed me, his wife died. And it's one of those things that snaps you into perspective. It's like, oh, well, take your time then. It's like, I don't know. I've been working on this thing for 5 years, so I'm amped up on it. Yeah. But you've got to put things in perspective.
Yeah, and you have people that are expecting it. You need to deliver to and all that kind of stuff. But that's a tough thing.
Yeah. So who knows?
Well, I think we should just end it on that.
I gotta eat something.
Let's crack the beans open.
If I don't eat something, let's fucking get baked beans up in here.
Yeah, just
The
open the
end of
can.
Kind of cool
Open the can and
improv.
throw it in the microwave.
Just doing like a cool improv game. Yeah, I honestly, he says in there, if you don't process death as a kid, you will later in life, and it's hard.
Oh yeah.
I felt like it's funny because I had friends growing up that were like, well, I've never been to funerals. I went to so many funerals as a kid.
Really?
My family, I have so many old Italian relatives that were always dying and stuff like that. So yeah, I did. But honestly, the Sesame Street thing, that was important for me to see as a kid.
Yeah.
And not long after that, I remember there were these I was always, my parents would go to work. My grandma would watch me. She would take me to. She had neighbors that were just friends and stuff, and we'd go visit them, whatever. And very early on, one of them died, and it was like he would always give me gifts. Yeah, it was always like, yeah, oh, you bringing Rocco over? Here's a gift. Here's some candy. Here's
cool.
whatever. And then suddenly he was gone. So that happened very early on, and it was like they made me understand like that. People after a while they go away, and that's that. Yeah. That is how life is, and soon it will happen to you. Or not soon it will happen.
It's coming.
All right,
for
you fucking 5-year-old, get ready. Age 6, you're fucking done. No, but you know what I mean. Anyway,
Yeah,
I was made
digits.
It happens to
very
everybody.
clear early on, and that gave me. It's funny because in my family, in the past few years, I've had some deaths that were very hard.
Jeez.
And it's funny because I've handled them okay. Sad, no doubt. Mm-hmm. But I've handled them. I've been able to when I've had other family members that, I can't deal with that right now. I can't. They want me to choose this, and I can't even think about that right now. They want me to do, and I've been able to do it.
Yeah.
And I really think it's because I had that right away.
Yeah.
In my head, death is natural.
Yep.
It's sad, but you can, I'm not doing any kind of repressed shit where, oh my God, man, and I'm not confronting it. It's not, it's just, I'm very sad, but I can work through it and stuff like that. And I have other people my age in my family that I don't think had that experience. And when someone dies, it's like they're gone for a while. I can still contribute. I'm sad, but
yeah. Same thing happened to me. I didn't know my dad's dad, and I barely knew my mom's dad because he died when I was like 7 or 8, and we had just gone and visited him in Lebanon because they both only lived in Lebanon. But yeah, so when I was like 7 or 8, I had that, and I had to understand that too. And like I said, my parents always explained to me that kind of stuff. So I think that's really what it comes back to for me. It's like if you can't expect kids to know everything. You have to educate them. You have to get them to understand. You have to take time to talk to them. And they obviously don't know how to do half the things that we know how to do because they've been around for a quarter of the life that we had. I remember being 10 years old and not knowing I didn't know where the fucking freeways were. And my dad was like, "You don't know where the freeways are?" I'm like, "Yeah, Dad, I don't drive. Why would I know what the 8 is?" It's not in my, it's not in my memory. But then I started driving, became educated, and know where all the freeways are now, So I feel like if you just sit down and tell your kids these things, you end up with a situation like you, where it's like, you understand it's death. You understand it's over. There's really not much you can do at that point.
Yeah.
So there's really no reason in wasting that time just being sad.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna spike my phone because it keeps buzzing in my pocket. Sorry. It's like, all of a sudden I've been sitting here for 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
Phone has gone off 3 times. It's going off 6 times. I feel like Eric right now. But yeah, making your kids understand, making people around you understand. Even as adults, there's I don't know how you think. I don't know how Kevin thinks. I don't understand something. I'll be like, well, yeah, it's Kevin's just an idiot, but But I mean, that I feel like is the biggest thing that people don't ever do. It's like they just immediately go to, "Oh, you're wrong, you're stupid." Hey, maybe if I just go "Hey, do you understand what I'm saying?" "Oh no, I actually don't." "Oh, hey, let's talk for a second and try to understand each other." You find, at least I have, you find that way, way, way better results happen when you do that rather than just
I agree.
trying to figure it out yourself, because like 99% of the time you're going with only the information you know, and I didn't have the same upbringing as either you or Kevin or anybody else that I might have a disagreement with. So like, I don't know, to me it's always just a big it's always just a big deal to like try to explain shit to people. That's how you can have kids that can play violent video games and not go and murder a bunch of kids at school. The kids who didn't have anybody going, this is wrong, you don't do this.
Yeah.
Yep.
A big part of it is that there's no parent interaction, there's no guidance. That's why some people always look up to like coaches or teachers or whatever.
Yeah.
Because that was the first person in their life
In
who
that
ever
role.
did.
Yeah.
And showed it to them. They opened this book that they never had, anybody show them. And it's like, how can you be expected to function as a normal human being if you're expected to know everything on your own?
Yeah.
Because you don't. That's why we have libraries and Wikipedia and all of this shit. And the hardest thing is dealing with people.
Yeah.
I think. And like the loss or the gain of those people and trying to understand them. And like, I think once you start doing that, you really get into having like a lot better results with dealing with people.
Hey, tie it back. Fucking talk about this another 6 hours. Lost.
Yeah.
Lost. What does he say? We're all dead? Everybody dies, kiddo. Nobody does it alone. You know, it's like,
It's, and even...
but it's just that same kind of like, you do things through your things with each other,
Yeah. And that's the whole point of that show. You get to that point, and at the end, it's like what you guys did in this time on this island.
Yeah.
That was the most important thing you did in your guys' life.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
let's pick apart the biggest relationship, Jack and his father. If Jack would have taken the time, it's not only on him. If his father had taken the time to sit down and explain to him why he's so hard on Jack, because he didn't want him to be the failure that Christian was.
Yeah.
Jack would have been able to do that with a lot more confidence and not have that issue of not being able to let go.
Yeah.
And if Jack maybe looked outside of himself and thought, maybe my dad is trying to be a good parent but doesn't know how.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe if I tried to sit down and talk to him, my dad wouldn't have a drinking problem. He wouldn't have all these issues, and I wouldn't have issues with him.
Yeah.
Because if you look back at it, like they paint him as the villain, remove that paint, that layer, and just look at what his dad's trying to do.
Yeah.
Why are you fighting to help somebody else, Jack?
Yeah.
Like, why are you? Because I'm pretty sure in that scene, Jack wasn't involved to begin with. When he's getting beat up as a kid, I feel like
I think he got involved.
He got involved, and it's like, why? Why are you putting yourself in harm's way for somebody else? He's trying to teach him that like you can't be like that because there's a lot of pressure on you. When you take that, that's a hard burden to bear.
Yeah.
When you're the one who does it, and of course everybody on the island, I think, fulfills the thing that they were always afraid of being.
Yeah.
Jack is the leader. Kate is somebody people can depend on who doesn't run away. Locke is able-bodied and in tune with the world. Sawyer is able to be that like actual contributor in society, help people grow. Hurley's not just a fat ass. He's actually a savior.
Yeah.
Everybody gets their redemption on that island. And that's part of the test.
When you let go of what everyone's telling you are,
Exactly.
or what you think you've made yourself to be, you know?
And I think a lot of that is lost on people who don't, no pun intended,
Quote, unquote.
who don't want to pay, attention to. And I understand
the island was symbolic of the blank slate.
Yeah.
And that's what, and that was really hammered home with Jacob saying, I bring people here and they can be whoever they want. It's like, if they want to bring what they, out there, doesn't matter. Once they get here, it doesn't. And either they get that and they thrive, or they don't and they die. And it's the only way you're going to succeed is to not corral yourself into one thing or define yourself by bad things or whatever. Like, true freedom as a person is your kind of being able to let go of that stuff. Or whatever. Trying to think of other lost topics we can talk about. That was one, but I think we need at least about 11 more. I mean, 6 seasons. I'm sure there's at least six giant things we could think about. But I'm starving. Do you want to get food or something?
Yeah.
You want to do that?
Yeah. I think that's a good time to take a break.
Okay.
We've been doing this.
This is intermission. How long? Yeah.
I don't know when we started.
Yeah.
Get your lost questions ready before we come back.
Brief intermission.